Hi, this is an explanation of solving by completing the square, number 16b on the M3 Algebra 2 midterm review sheet. The equation is 9x squared plus 21 equals negative 6x. So first, let me just remind you that one of the major goals of completing the square is to be able to factor the left-hand side as 1x plus something squared. If I can accomplish that, then getting x alone will have two very predictable steps. Those steps are simply taking the square root of both sides and then adding or subtracting at the end to isolate the x. So to accomplish that, I have two steps that I need to complete first before I actually do what's called completing the square. So first I need to rearrange the terms so that the quadratic and linear terms are together on the left-hand side and the constant term is on the right. So I'll accomplish that by subtracting the 21 and adding the 6x to both sides. So that gives me 9x squared plus 6x equals negative 21. The next very important step I need to do is divide both sides through by 9. So again, these first two steps have to be taken before I can do what comes after this. So that gives me x squared plus 2/3 x equals negative 7/3. So now this is the step that's actually called completing the square. And I'll just remind you that we used to do these by trying to change this diagram into a geometric square. And I'd accomplish that by splitting the 2/3 x in half so that I could put equal amounts in these two boxes that are diagonal from each other. And that guarantees that I'll be able to rewrite the dimensions of this diagram so that they're equal, making this a perfect square. So this diagram shows that x plus 1/3 times x plus 1/3 would equal x squared plus 2/3 x plus 1/9. So 1/9 is the magic number that completes the square, and that's what I'm going to add to both sides of my equation. So here is plus 1/9, and then to balance it out on the right-hand side, plus 1/9. So that allows me to factor the left-hand side as x plus 1/3 squared, and I've reached that first goal. On the right-hand side, if I get a common denominator, negative 21/9 plus 1/9 is negative 20/9. So now I'm on to my two predictable steps. All I have to do is take the square root of both sides, remembering that that produces a plus or minus. And when I take the square root of negative 20/9, let's simplify both the square root of negative 20 and the square root of 9. So the square root of 20 is 2i root 5. There was a negative 4 that I took out to become the 2i, and the square root of 9 is 3. So then when I subtract 1/3 from both sides to get that x alone, I have x equals negative 1/3 plus or minus 2i root 5 over 3. And that's my answer.